So, first off, I want to apologize that I've been really, and I do mean really, dropping the ball on these TMNT reviews. I'm so sorry. It's just that, personal life really sucks, and, there's so much shit going on in my life, and they're just kind of, all the 4 episodes were just kind of sitting on my DVR, and I was just kept going, God, I just gotta binge watch one time. So, here we are now. So, yeah, I'm just gonna fire through the past 4 episodes from episode 21 all the way up to episode 24, the most recent. So, here we go. Starting off with Attack of the Mega Shredder. Now, this episode is a lot of fun. It's more or less about the turtles trying to rescue Karai again, but they need a little of one of those brainworms so Donnie can make a antidote. However, the problem is that they keep screwing up, and then it eventually gets to the point where, after they try battling Tiger Claw, Bebop, and Rocksteady, they basically, they pretty much lose again, and Raphael's sprained. Why would they go back? And I can't be the only one who's asked this question before. I cannot be the only one asking this question of, Raphael gets his arm, his leg sprained, and Master Splinter says, no one, I'm worried about you guys. You guys are, sidelined for the rest of, until, Raphael is healed. To which I'm like, or you could just do those healing hands, that'd be convenient. I'm pretty sure a sprain is no problem. What the fuck's going on here? What's the problem? So yeah, that always got me confused. Like, whenever the turtles suffer, great injuries, I'm just like, why not Master Splinter just heal that? Now that we know the healing hands and whatnot, that's what I mean, is like, and why haven't you done this before? I don't know, it just feels like a plot hole to me. Anyway, so with this episode, Leo, alongside Mikey, who tags along, they both try to sneak in again to Shredder's base, get caught by Bebop and Rocksteady, who want to mutate them together along with the 3 Shredder crustacean clones together, and try to create a Mega Mutant for Shredder. However, this doesn't go well, and the 3 Shredders are turned into one big Mega Shredder that pretty much looks like a nasty-ass kaiju with Godzilla spikes. I love it, too, because, there's a lot of love going into this show. Nickelodeon may be lacking a lot these days, but Ninja Turtles, thankfully, is still on a roll here. And with that, you have this. I love this great scene where they make an homage to the original Godzilla theme throughout. When the Mega Shredder attacks the city, and you've also got references to Pacific Rim when the metal turtle, the Mecha Turtle shows up. That was pretty fun. There's even I love this because there's a great reference to Attack on Titan where, Mikey gets eaten, and Leo goes Captain Levi on the Mega Shredder, and it's awesome. Oh, it was so good. Again, pretty fun episode. If you're a big kaiju fan, this will make you, this will really brighten your day up. Now moving on to the Creeping Doom. This episode pretty much deals with Donnie becoming less and less intelligent, after an accident Mikey caused him. And throughout this story, we basically follow Donnie as he slowly deteriorates in his condition. Meanwhile, the rest of the turtles are dealing with the return of the Creeper. Yeah, you guys remember him from the beginning of Season 3, that Jason knockoff? Yeah. And not to mention, he fuses with Snakeweed, becoming Creepweed. And dude, I don't want to spoil them, but there are some great references here and there. There's also one quick one to Alien that I'm not going to spoil. It's a really good one. But no, not much else to say about this episode, other than this was a lot of fun. And it was nice to see Donnie, I think there's been an episode in the past Turtles series. I could be wrong, but I think this has been done before in another Ninja Turtles series. Could be wrong, though. Anyway, so moving on now to the Fourfold Trap. This episode is fun, but when you think about it, it makes no goddamn sense. It really doesn't. And the reason why I say that is because, well, what happens is that, pretty much, it's, the turtles are brought into, are locked in a trap, and all these very intricate traps, and it turns out Karai's behind it, still under the control of, Shredder, and yeah, I was literally like, this feels more like something Baxter Stockman would do. I'm actually, you know, it would have been better if they said Baxter Stockman created all this, and they did, and she did, and excuse me, he did, because, you know, Karai used the Mausers, but putting them all in traps just to get Shredder out, I would say that maybe she convinces Baxter Stockman to build all this, and then he's working on it, and Karai is just there kind of guiding him along, rather than have Karai be the mastermind behind all this. Well, Karai still being the mastermind, but yeah, this just feels like a little out of character. It feels like something Stockman would do. This episode was also pretty cool. There's also an interesting reference to a classic toy, a TMNT toy, in terms of Mikey's prison, which I was like, really? Damn, we're going there? Yeah. So the fourfold trap was nothing short of just pretty goddamn fun. And again, we are left off wondering what's the fate of Karai now. Because what happens is that Master Splinter takes on Karai head on, uses the healing hands, and kills the worm in her brain, forcing her to vomit it out, and now we don't know where Karai is now. She's still alive, but now, you know, what's going to happen to her character? Is she going to go back to Shredder? Is she going to be on her own for a while? We don't really know, and I'm really curious to see where her character is going to be now. Is it, you know, Karai's never had the best life, so hopefully maybe she can become like an ally to the Turtles or something. You know, hopefully she can have a good ending, you know, she can have a happy ending finally. Anyway, so let's move on to the most recent episode, and I know I'm just firing through these, because these episodes have been out for weeks, but I'm going to talk a little more in detail with the latest episode called Dinosaurs in the Sewers, or something of that like. So let's get on with this episode. Wow, where do I begin with this episode? First off, let me say that it was pretty freaking amazing. Wow. We get finally the introduction of the Triceratons, and it's awesome. And of course we get the first Triceraton, Zog, in here, voiced by Lance Henriksen. And we do know that Michael Dorn is playing the Emperor of the Triceratons, and we also get Frank Welker in here as a Triceraton commander as well, I believe. Man, it is so cool. Also, before I go any further, because I'm going to forget this if I don't talk about it if I don't talk about it now, it turns out that there's a Krang base that the Turtles and Zog break into, and you see in the background of the Statue of Liberty, which turns out to be a Krang base, you see something carved into the wall that says Venkman was here. Yeah, as in I knew that when they showed the Statue of Liberty, I was like, they're going to make a Ghostbusters joke. And then they said Venkman was here. I was like, ha, that's funny. But I think IDW beat you to the punch there, Nickelodeon. But no, I thought that was that was probably one of the best references in this show. But anyway, yeah, we get the entrance of the Triceratons, and it's kind of, they don't say outright of why the Triceratons have a rivalry with the Krang. They just refer to them as the Mutators, which I kind of think is that maybe, yeah, the Triceratons were meant to be a slave race to the Krang, and they were mutated from Triceratopses back in the, you know, dawn of time, because they did say the Krang have, you know, lived on Earth since, you know, since Earth was around, more or less. So yeah, they, you know, I'm kind of convinced the Triceratons were meant to be a slave race to the Krang. They went total Geth on them, and yeah, now they're their own society, and they're exactly how I imagined the Triceratons were in this, how they would be in this continuity. Because I always kept saying the best way that you can make the Triceratons in this continuity is make them something along the lines of like the Klingons or the Krogans from Mass Effect. And that's pretty much what they're going for by the looks of it. You know, the whole strength and honor thing, and it just kind of goes further with Michael Dorn as a Triceraton as well. So, yeah, we have all this going for us. So yeah, there's another great moment in here, because what happens is that Raphael bonds with Zog, who's just completely out of his fucking gourd, because he's losing his mind, because his planet needs nitrogen, his people need nitrogen to survive, and he's kind of left in a confused state, and Raphael takes advantage of this just to get him under control. So of course Zog later, gets his, shit back together, and they fight, and Raphael kicks him nearly, over the edge of the torch of the Statue of Liberty, and he's trying his damnedest to save Zog, and he's like, "Long live the Empire," just falls, and you don't hear a splash. All you see is Zog hit the ground. You don't even hear the ground. All you see is the birds fly away, and it's just total silence. And I totally thought to myself, "Oh my god, I think he died. I think he, honest to God, died." And speaking of dying, yeah, you clearly see Zog kill some Krang in here. Not like it cuts away. No, you clearly see him murder, step on a Krang and murder his ass. Let me talk about the Krognar thing real quick. I loved, they finally show the final episode of Krognar, and it ends with, Krognar getting killed by something that looks like the ultimate five-god dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! So yeah, Krognar dies, and yeah, that's the end. And I love Donnie, Mikey, and Leo's reaction to it. It's just like, really? That's the end? And I literally said out loud, "Welcome to everyone after watching the first season of Evangelion." There's even a joke that Leo makes, like, there wasn't even a movie to wrap it up, and I was like, just like every other anime that had a disappointing ending. Or a confusing one. Again, if you like Evangelion, that's totally fine. I'm not the biggest fan, but I just found that kind of funny and just couldn't help but think of that joke. But all in all, this was a really great episode, and I can't wait for the season finale of I can't wait to see how the Triceraton invasion is going to go down. Once again, I am terribly sorry that it took me so long to review all of these episodes. I'm truly sorry about that, and I will try my best to, continue on reviewing at a better pace with these episodes. So, also, I won't review the episode until the season finale until it officially comes out in next week. I know it's already online, but I'm just gonna wait for the official release. Anyway, so you guys tell me, what did you guys think of the past 4 episodes, and especially the most recent episode? Did you guys like them? Did you guys hate them? Just comment below and let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.